Top of the morning to you. Today we're going to talk about the presidential dollar series, and we're going to make it brief, but I wanted to take some time today to discuss the series a little bit, to give you kind of a little history lesson. At the onset of the presidential dollar series, the coins themselves were speculated by the collecting public to becoming a pretty wild and successful campaign, much like the state quarter program and what would be today's America the Beautiful quarter program. And to say that this issue bombed would be a huge understatement. But I wanted to take some time to talk about the series in length. As some of you know, these series started in 2008 with the George Washington dollar, and then it goes up from there for every successful succeeding president from one all the way up to current. And when I mean current, of course you see Gerald Ford here on the left. Current being that they would have been deceased for at least 2 years before they're able to have their own coin issued. So guys like Bill Clinton and Jimmy Carter, who's still around, and a few others will not see a coin as of yet. But the series has been met with a lot of kind of negative talk, and they're largely unloved. But the series, because there's so many of these sitting in bank vaults, and they're sitting at stores and so on and so forth in relatively large numbers, and albeit in brilliant uncirculated fashion, there are a few diamonds in the rough. So from 2008, or 2007 rather, is the first year of the series with George Washington, all the way up till the end of 2011. So all of those coins encompassing during that era are business strike coins, whereas from 2012, starting with the Chester A. Arthur presidential dollar, is when the Mint decided, you know what, the series isn't going as planned. They're not as widely loved as we thought it would be. So after a number of years, they've decided to do a what they would call an NIFC, which is not intended for circulation. All right, so they'll produce them and then they'll make them available via purchase online, whether it's through the government Mint website, or you might even see them on third-party websites like Littleton Coin and a few others. But when the Mint decide to do that, you have coins like this William Henry Harrison with I didn't check, but let's say this coin had a mintage of 150 million copies. All right, and then 2012, starting with that Chester A. Arthur, let's say the Gerald Ford, this particular coin has a mintage of 5 million. So it's a pretty huge drop off. They're just not going to produce enough coins to meet the business demands the way that they intended for. So with that being said, since there's such a huge discrepancy in the mintage figures, from the 150 million of this coin to only 5 million, some would say that the lower mintage coin would be worth a lot more money because it's just much more rare. That might be the case, but you have to look at also from the grading side. If we took a relatively middle of the road grade, Mint State 65, you'll find that the William Henry Harrison right here is worth about $2. And that is raw, not slabbed, but a theoretical grade based off of a raw circulated standard grade. All right, the Gerald Ford right here, with its much less mintage figures, would be right around $3. So as you can tell, even though Mr. Ford here has a much lower, what we would construe as key date type mintage, because of its NIFC status, it really puts the price down quite a bit. In addition, the desirability of the coin just isn't there. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, why coins like this will never appreciate to the values that you and I think they should based off of mintage figures alone. And then that's how, I guess, one way that we could kind of take mintage out of the picture. If it's just not that desirable, ladies and gentlemen, it will not command a huge sum of money. Now, if we looked ahead 100 years into the future, who knows? I think the big factor is, okay, are they gonna cease the overall production of the presidential dollar series because there's so many of these in mint bags in the Fed Reserve? Does this mean that they're going to take whatever the balance is and go ahead and scrap it and then start new with a different program? All right, these are all things, again, hypothetical. It may or may not happen. These may just stay in the vault. You know, it could very well turn out to be the next kind of like Morgan dollar. As you guys know, the GSA had tons of Morgan dollars sitting in bank vaults for years, and then they were released in the slabbed GSA holders, sold for $5 at the onset, and then subsequently they're worth several $100s. Now, granted, those are silver; they're a classic series. These may not follow in the same fashion, but you never know. Again, 100 years from now, they could be worth 25, 50 bucks, somewhere around there, well beyond your time and mine. But in any event, it's a nice little look at the presidential dollar series. If you're into collecting a brilliant uncirculated set in an album, it is really affordable. And this is even after adding in the San Francisco Mint proof coins, okay, which every single president does have a variant of that proof dollar made and crafted at the San Francisco Mint. And to get a full set together with the proofs, $200, I would say, is a pretty reasonable figure to factor in, you know, if you wanted to do so. And it is an attractive looking presentation. There are a number of albums out there available that look great, okay, with the coins in there. But anyways, I hope you guys like the content today. Please hit like, and if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so. You know you want to. And as always, I do have product for sale down below in those links. But in any event, go ahead and check it out if you so inclined. And I appreciate your guys' time, and I look forward to seeing you again. Have a great day. Take care.